It's interesting. You said something about working for the students, and I want to zoom in a little bit and talk specifically about how the impact of teacher shortages, the impact teacher shortages are having on special education. And a special education instructor once said to me, I work for the students, right? I don't work for the principal. I don't work for the district. I work for the students. And so, if we're talking specifically about special education, close to 15% of students enrolled in US public schools qualify for what we call IEP, right? Like an individual education plan. And so, how are these students kind of impacted by this teacher shortage, and what needs to be done to make sure that those students are getting the resources that they deserve and they need based off of their IEPs?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. And it's funny because I had a similar story to yours, Akila. When I was a student teacher, uh, getting into the profession, I had a special education teacher named Rindy Hardy who said to me, Miguel, as you go into this profession, never forget you teach kids, not curriculum. And that stuck with me. Look, when we have a teacher shortage, or when we have students being taught by long-term subs, and God bless the substitute teachers, they do great work. But when we have students learning over a long period of time by substitute teachers, it affects all students because they don't have the certification. It double impacts students with exceptionalities or students with disabilities, because the adherence to the individualized education plan that you made reference to has to be followed no matter what. Now, if that person is a substitute, or you don't have a teacher in that classroom, the chances that the IEP and the individualized plan for learning being followed is diminished. Now, when you have students who struggle, or students who get disconnected from school because the plan is not being followed, that's how you lose students. So the impact is greater. We provide $15 billion to students for IDEA, Individuals with Disability Education Act. Um, and we know that there's still a great need. And I want to really emphasize that it, special education teachers are the salt of the earth, without question. But it's important that we also remember that special students with disabilities, uh, before they're special education students, they're general education students. They should have access to the core curriculum. So we need to make sure that our classroom teachers have adequate professional development, that all teachers can serve students with disabilities, not just specialized special education teachers. I think we run the risk of isolating students further if we think that the only way that they're going to grow is by having a paraeducator with them or a special education teacher with them all day. Yes, that's going to be helpful. And in some IEPs, it's required. But let me tell you, all teachers need to be supported, developed to meet the needs of all learners.